Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast, brought to you by DirecTV, 1-800-259-7646. Also brought to you by RVWheelator.com. If you're buying an RV or selling an RV, check out RVWheelator.com and the Dollar Shave Club. Here's John and Heidi.
Thank you for listening on a Monday. Hello, baby. How you doing?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Fabulous, fabulous. Our baby boy graduated yesterday.
Isn't that crazy?
I just don't know how that is possible. Because I'm looking at you. You don't look old enough to have a graduate.
Well, thank you.
I probably do, but you certainly don't. What was the stuff you were putting on your face the other night? I was getting ready for bed.
Moisturizer. It's just lotion.
You have like this little ritual you do.
Well, yeah, everybody does.
Not everybody. Not me. I have this ritual too. I walk in the room and I fall on the bed and fall asleep. So I was watching you as you were getting ready. You did some cleanser thing. What is your ritual? What do you do to look that beautiful? What do you do? Tell me.
I do what everybody does. I wash my face
with
a cleanser, and I put on moisturizer, and I go to bed. That's it.
Hubba.
Jeez.
Secret's out, folks. That's why she looks
so
hot.
Weird.
And that's why I do not. Hey, some people will drink anything. A British woman was accused of downing prescription drugs, 2 or 3 bottles of wine, and some liquid soap.
Ew.
Yeah, she was in the lavatory of a jetliner. And she was in a little scuffle with a flight attendant, and now she's in jail in Maine. Prosecutors say Galina Rozavana, I probably didn't say any of that right, she punched and kicked attendants on a Chicago-based United Airlines flight. They say that she snapped like a dog while trying to bite one of them. The FBI says the Russian-born London resident had gone to Los Angeles to visit a man she met over the internet and was returning Wednesday when her flight was diverted to Bangor, Maine. So, not exactly sure how things went with the guy in L.A.
Apparently not well.
I'm assuming.
She seems like she was maybe a little depressed.
Yeah, she kind of flew off the handle a little bit, too. So, probably didn't go so hot. Coming up, we're going to talk about Peruvians from Peru, and we're going to talk about a guy that got arrested for doing something dumb. Imagine that. We talk a lot about those kind of things around here. That's all on the way on the John and Heidi Show.
This portion of the program is brought to you by RVWheelator.com. If you're selling an RV, check out RVWheelator.com. They only get paid if they help you sell your RV. If you're buying an RV, you can find great deals at RVWheelator.com. Now, back to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
Peru's government says it's high time that Peruvians were on time, Heidi.
Are they late?
Yes, chronic lateness in Peru is often overlooked as an enduring cultural trait, with weddings and funerals and business meetings hardly ever starting on time.
That's where you should move.
It's even considered rude to be punctual for a party. So if they say the party starts at 7, if you get there at 7 or like 6:55, they're like, what is wrong with this guy? He must not have a life. Government says it's time we change that attitude if we want Peru to move on and like grow and prosper. We need to be on time, folks. So that's in Peru, where I would be.
You would fit right
perfect.
in. Yes.
I'd probably be the mayor or the president.
Mayor of Peru.
I'd be the mayor of Peru. It's a country, isn't it? Countries rarely have mayors, but Peru does.
Peru.
Oh yes, I am the mayor of. I'm going to have business cards made. All right, coming up in a bit, we're going to talk about a man who was arrested for vandalizing his boss's house. We're going to chat about that in a bit. That's on the way on the John and Heidi Show.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. You can get razors sent to your door each month for just $1, plus a couple of bucks shipping. It's an amazing deal. Log on to dollarshaveclub.com/radio to learn more. That's dollarshaveclub.com/radio. Now, back to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
Have you ever been upset with your boss?
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Lately.
Lately, that's very common around here. She's my boss, and I am her boss. That never works out, by the way. Well, a disgruntled 51-year-old Pleasant Prairie man recently was arrested in the case of vandalizing his boss's house. He could have probably found a better way, or a better getaway vehicle, rather, than his work truck.
Oh,
he was driving his work truck.
Yeah, not a good idea.
The whacked-out worker is accused of pouring 10 pounds of roofing tar on his boss's porch late one morning before driving away. It wasn't too hard to track down, however. Police just homed in on the global positioning system that he had in his company vehicle. So
it
wasn't really hard to find him.
Not very smart.
No. So there you go. If you're going to vandalize your boss's house, don't use a company vehicle as a getaway vehicle.
One thing I can say for sure is I won't be vandalizing my boss's house.
Yeah, because that's your house too.
My house.
Although I got to say, it's awesome. We mentioned earlier in the program, our son had a graduation yesterday, so we had the graduation party on Saturday, which means all last week I was working my fingers to the bone to get things cleaned up in our garage. We have a 3-car garage that we could barely wedge one vehicle into.
Yeah.
And it's because I had boxes of stuff that, it was just things that had been accumulated over 8 years of living here. And then we moved back and we had stuff boxed up and the garage looks awesome.
Oh, well,
It's going to be
there.
It is going to be really good until Thursday of this week at least.
Yeah, oh, at least. And that's the truth, sadly.
It'll probably be later today. I'll start putting things. Hey, look at all the room over here. I can stack things over here. All right. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Monday.
This is John Stossel. Anything that makes it harder for you to speak limits your life. So if you or someone you know stutters, you can call the Stuttering Foundation for help. 800-992-9392.
You're listening to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
Thank you for listening on a Monday. Now, when we were children, we did not know each other. So
No.
You and I didn't know each other until we were in our 20s.
Right.
But when you were a kid, I've heard stories that you were a little rambunctious at school when you would show up for school.
Not when I was a kid, when I was in high school.
But that's what I'm saying. Did you ever get detention when you were in school?
Only once.
Now, what did you do to get detention?
I can't say.
Okay,
on
well
the
that's
radio what
let's
I did.
let's
to
keep
get
it at that.
detention.
Here's the thing: that thing that most people have, where they know whether or not they should say it or not. She doesn't have one of those. So if she can't say it on the radio and she knows that, it must have been bad. Did you kill someone?
It was really
All right,
bad.
well, I can't wait to hear this story. Maybe this will be discussed in the bonus break. We'll have to check. But what was I had detention? Guess what I got detention for?
I don't know, being too nice.
No, not at all. And I don't think you get detention for being too nice. I got detention for being late. Imagine that.
Yeah, imagine that.
Me? Late? No way. Well, what do you think the longest sentence for detention ever has been? Because I've gotten detention for a day, or not a whole day, but an hour. Well, how about 25 years?
What?
In 2005, the Weekly World News reported from Fort Wayne, Indiana, a boy who got caught pulling a cruel prank in high school has finally completed his detention 25 years later.
No way.
This was from the Weekly World News, so you know it's true. It was in 1980 that Jerry Finkel received a harsh sentence from a fed-up teacher, and he said, "I deserved it." The 42-year-old Finkel had been showing up at his old high school every day at 3 p.m., staying for 2 hours of detention for 25 years. Finkel, who now works as an accountant, says he was not legally obligated to finish his detention.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's
but
no way.
he chose to anyway. He said, it just felt like the right thing to do. He said, I did a lot of bad things in high school, and this was my way of making up for it.
Wow.
What kind of stuff would you do where you get 25 years of detention?
He must have been really bad.
He's 42, and he's an accountant, and he's still going into... Can you imagine just sitting in that room every day with a bunch of kids? They'd be like, what's his deal? He could be the guy in charge of detention at this point.
I didn't ever do anything that bad. I can honestly
It doesn't say what he did, but now I want to know. I want to know two things. I want to know what he did, and I want to know if this is real. It's from the Weekly World News. Don't they make stuff up?
I have no idea.
I think they do.
I've never even heard of that.
Well, let's not call it a credible source. How about we put it that way? Thanks for listening on a Monday. It's the John and Heidi Show. Your scoop of the day is on the way.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. You can get razors sent to your door each month for just $1, plus a couple of bucks shipping. It's an amazing deal. Log on to dollarshaveclub.com/radio to learn more. That's dollarshaveclub.com/radio. Now, back to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
Time now for the scoop of the day, and we're going to learn together. I haven't pre-read any of these today, Heidi. You know that's always good.
This should sound awesome.
Scoop of the day. Maybe I shouldn't even say it's brought to you by anybody today. No, it's brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. Learn more at dollarshaveclub.com/radio. Now, your scoop of the day. A Texas man decided to do the math and determine how much his stay-at-home mom should make a year. According to a Fox News report, he quickly realized that he couldn't afford to pay his wife for all that she does. Steve Nelms listed every job his wife performs, from cleaning and cooking and caring to their 2 children, or their 2-year-old child, rather, After adding financial assistance, laundry services, cleaning services, personal shopping, chef responsibilities, and others, he figured a salary for a stay-at-home mom is, what do you think, Heidi?
Oh, way
If you were
going
to just guess, say a number.
I would say $195,000 a year.
No, that would be really good, though. It would be if you wanted to hire somebody to do all the things that a stay-at-home mom does, you should expect to pay them $73,690 per year.
I would...
To do all of the things that his wife does. That's what he calculated.
I think he's low.
Okay. I think you're high. An Air Canada flight from Frankfurt to Toronto was forced to make an emergency landing in Ireland after an unruly elderly passenger lashed out and bit one of the members of the flight crew.
Oh.
An 87-year-old woman was taken off the plane and arrested. I'm not sure what led to that, but it would be funny to see, whatever it was.
I can't imagine.
An 87-year-old woman bit one of the flight crew and was taken off the plane and arrested. That is nuts. A Croatian man could not believe his eyes when he received a package containing his wallet. Here's the interesting thing about said wallet. He lost this wallet 14 years ago.
Oh, that's
Inside,
nice.
Listen to this. This gets better, Heidi. Inside was the money he had originally lost and more. There was interest. How crazy is this?
That's nice. So somebody had stolen his wallet and were giving it back to him. They felt guilty?
Well, here's what happened. He lost the wallet with about $1,000 inside, and he was returning. It was returned to him Easter weekend with $1,500 inside. He says he had that money in his wallet 14 years ago because he had gotten it from the bank to pay for a roof repair and lost his wallet with the money. So somebody apparently on Easter weekend said, you know what? It's time that I do the right thing. I know whose wallet this is. I took the money. I'm giving it back. So whoever did that, God bless you. How awesome is that?
That's pretty cool.
A British company is marketing a device to attract young people to church. It's called a karaoke machine. I'm sorry, let me say that again. It's a karaoke machine called the Hymnal Plus. Shows the lyrics on a big screen and plays 3,000 hymns from the traditional to disco versions of Amazing Grace.
Wow.
Amazing
There's a disco.
Grace.
I did not know.
How sweet.
I would actually kind of like to hear the disco
We're gonna
version
have
of
to
Amazing
Google
Grace.
that. I'd kind of like to hear it too. So it doesn't. Oh, Hymnal Plus. That's what it's called. A new type of contact lens has been introduced. It aims to actually cure nearsightedness. So this yes. The idea is that if kids start wearing these early enough, the lens's unique design will train the eyes to grow in a way that will eventually eliminate vision problems.
That is awesome.
It is very cool. So be on the lookout for those. They're contact lenses. From the sounds of it, they'd probably stick out about 3 feet, though. So
You can't blink anymore.
Other than that, they're awesome. Employers, watch out. Your workers can't wait to quit. According to a recent survey from job placement firm Manpower, 84% of employees plan to look for a new position in the next year. That's up 60% from last year.
Yikes.
60% from just 60% last year.
Oh, so it's not up 60%.
I should pre-read this stuff.
Maybe
That's up from 60. So it bumped up 24%.
giving incorrect numbers to our listeners.
Oh, everybody wants to quit. That's what I'm saying. And finally, a rolled-up newspaper can be an effective training tool for your pet when used properly. For instance, the rolled-up newspaper, if your dog chews on something inappropriate or has a house-breaking incident, that's when you're supposed to use a roll-up newspaper. What are you supposed to do with it?
Whack them with it.
Point at the stuff. Don't do this anymore.
No, you're supposed to whack them.
I'm not going to whack our dogs with a rolled-up newspaper. First of all, where would I get a newspaper? We don't
have newspapers.
We don't get those. Go out and buy a newspaper so I can come home. Remember an hour ago when you pooped on the floor?
Does it have to be a current newspaper?
I don't think so. It doesn't say. And our strange law. It is illegal to take a lion to the movies in Baltimore, Maryland. That is why they're so angry there, because they can't take their lion to the movies. I
would have not wanted to be at the theater when they decided they had to make that law.
Apparently,
I wonder what guy brought a lion.
It was an epidemic, apparently.
Huh.
Would you guys please quit bringing your lion to the movies? Maybe it was somebody from MGM. They have a lion on the beginning of every movie. All right. This has been your Scoop of the Day, brought to you by the Dollar Shave Club. Get razors for just $1 a month plus $2 shipping. So $3 a month and you'll be in awesome razors. Check them out at dollarshaveclub.com/radio.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. You can get razors sent to your door each month for just $1 plus a couple of bucks shipping. It's an amazing deal. Log on to dollarshaveclub.com/radio to learn more. That's dollarshaveclub.com/radio. Now, back to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
We just talked last week about the old apple a day keeps the doctor away.
Yes, we did.
What if I said chocolate every day keeps the dentist away? How awesome would that be?
I would be skeptical on that one.
Eating chocolate one day might fend off tooth cavities and thwart dental decay, according to research in Japan. They found parts of a cocoa bean, specifically the bean husk, the main ingredient of chocolate, fights mouth bacteria.
Really?
This bacteria leads to cavities. So CBH, cocoa bean husks, are usually thrown out and they go into waste. Researchers at Osaka University suggest that the bean husk be put back into the chocolate and it'll make it better for your teeth. It could also be used in toothpastes and mouthwash. The Japanese researchers found that rats that had CBH added to their water had healthier teeth. They now plan to test their findings on human teeth.
That's awesome.
So these little rats...
If I could eat chocolate and have better teeth, that would be amazing.
I'm just imagining these little rats over there. I'm sorry, I shouldn't... Because I don't think it's cool that they do that with lab animals. I wish they didn't. They should come up with a better way to test things. But I'm just imagining these little rats picking out on chocolate and smiling with pearly whites. that rat's like, I'm the happiest lab rat ever. What are you testing in your little pods over there? I don't know. It made all my hair fall out. What about you? I get to eat chocolate all day and smile. It's awesome. All right. Thanks for listening on a Monday. Coming up in a bit, we've got all kinds of fun stuff to share. So don't go nowhere. I don't think any of that was proper.
I don't think so either.
But it's a Monday, so I think you can forgive me. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Hi, it's Jewel and Kelly Pickler. Lung cancer is the #1 cancer killer of women. So we've joined the American Lung Association's Lung Force because it's going to take a force of women to create new hope. Please join us. Fight lung cancer in women at lungforce.org.
You're listening to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
Today's a very special day, Heidi. Today is Monday, the 18th day of May. We have 222 shopping days till Christmas. And today is HIV Vaccine Awareness Day. So that's cool. Today is also...
What?
HIV Vaccine Awareness Day. So it's a day to make sure that you're aware that they have vaccines for HIV.
I was not aware there were vaccines for HIV.
There's vaccines, yes.
To get, to not get it?
No, I have no clue.
I don't believe that there is a vaccination to not get HIV. That's a sexually transmitted disease. You can't block it with a vaccination. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm just saying it's the HIV Vaccine Awareness Day.
Okay.
Apparently they've done a bang-up job of letting folks know what that is. You guys might want to work on that today. All right, today is also I Love Reese's Day. Oh, I do love Reese's.
I do love Reese's.
You know what's really good? Just a regular, plain old, regular Reese's
peanut butter
in the
cup.
freezer.
No.
Yeah, freeze that sucker.
The only candy that you freeze is Snickers.
No, you freeze Reese's, too. They are so good. And here's the thing I don't like. When they made the big cup, remember those? I don't know if they're even still out. I got one of those,
I didn't
and I was like,
those.
it's just too big.
It was too much peanut butter.
Too much.
Yeah.
I took a bite. I was like...
The regular Reese's has the perfect balance of chocolate and peanut butter.
And when you get the little ones, like the minis, those are just not right either.
Right. It's got to be the regular
why
one.
mess with perfection, people
Exactly.
at Reese's? Today is your day for hugs. We love you. It is I Love Reese's Day. But don't mess with my cups. Just leave those alone. All right, International Museum Day and Mother Whistler Day.
Mother Whistler is that paint. It's actually called Whistler's Mother.
Oh, yeah.
But it's that painting, that lady in the rocking chair.
Okay. Well, happy day to them, too. And it's Visit Your Relatives Day. Hey, we celebrated that yesterday.
We did.
And Saturday. We had folks here for my son's.
So much fun.
My son's graduation.
I'm
And
still recovering.
yeah. And today is Accountant's Day.
Ah, we have a wonderful accountant.
We do. I wonder why they put it on the 18th of May. Shouldn't that be
April
16th?
Yeah.
Like the day after tax day? Maybe they decided this is about how long it takes to finally get caught up. Well, celebrate however you want to celebrate. I'm telling you how I'm doing it. With a giant frozen Reese's. Well, it'll be a regular size. But I'm
Share a Reese's with our accountant.
There you go. Well, I'm not going to share. I'm going to be really bad at math. 1 plus 1 more for me plus 1 more for me. All right, James, we love you. I'd give you a Reese's. Thanks for listening on a Monday.
This portion of the program is brought to you by RVRealtor.com. If you're selling an RV, check out RVRealtor.com. They only get paid if they help you sell your RV. If you're buying an RV, you can find great deals at RVRealtor.com. Now, back to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
Time for a little research here, Heidi. You ready for this?
I am ready.
All right. Scientists at Oxford University Imperial Cancer Research Fund found that people who eat fresh fruit daily, do we do that?
No.
Do we eat
should.
fresh fruit weekly?
No.
Do we eat
really
fresh
should.
fruit monthly?
Yeah, monthly.
Have we ever had fresh fruit?
Not around these parts.
All right. Well, those who do eat fresh fruit on a daily basis have a 24% slighter, let me say this the right way. They had 24% fewer heart attacks and 32% fewer strokes.
Huh.
That's pretty cool. Those are good odds.
That's very
All
good.
you got to do, eat a banana, have some kiwi, maybe
You know
eat an
why?
apple.
I don't know
a
why
little
we
bit of
don't
plums.
have more fruit
I
around the
love
house.
fruit.
I love fruit.
Me too. Does it count if it's in a fruit roll-up?
No.
Probably not. That's not fresh fruit.
No.
How about squeezed inside of a Pop-Tart?
No, definitely not.
Toaster pastries, they have fruit. All right. Again, Oxford University's Imperial Cancer Research Fund found people who eat fresh fruit daily had 24% fewer heart attacks and 32% fewer strokes. So
That makes sense.
get out there and have some fresh fruit. Fresh fruit, it does a body good.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. You can get razors sent to your door each month for just $1, plus a couple of bucks shipping. It's an amazing deal. Log on to dollarshaveclub.com/radio to learn more. That's dollarshaveclub.com/radio. Now, back to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
NASA's chief scientist recently predicted that we'd find signs of life beyond Earth within a decade or so. But a new study by researchers at Penn State, one of the most exhaustive studies of its type, isn't very encouraging. According to Huffington Post, after surveying tens of thousands of galaxies, surveying like they sent out a survey
Questionnaire.
Could
When they got no responses,
No
they
response.
realized
Apparently
there's
nobody's there.
not life.
I think what they mean by surveying is they've been looking at tens of thousands of galaxies surrounding our own Milky Way galaxy. The scientists turned up no signs of advanced alien civilizations out there. So they're looking.
I don't
We've
know what
talked
they
about
thought they were
this.
going to find.
They thought they were going to see some other scientist staring in his telescope, waving back.
Apparently, yeah.
How fun would that be? Like, hey, wait a minute.
Hey,
You're looking at
there's
me?
somebody over there.
I'm looking at you. How you doing? This is the thing I still think is interesting about this. If they found like a little speck of an amoeba that had some sort of
Oh, I
single-cell
know.
organism, they would call that life.
Absolutely.
Yet here, you can have, a child that's just
Yeah.
a few months away from being born, and they're saying that's still not life.
Yeah,
So-
I know. It drives me nuts. but
Which,
whatever.
interestingly, brings me to my next story.
Okay.
Hundreds of pro-life physicians are throwing their support behind the abortion pill reversal process that, to date, has saved the lives of 89 unborn children whose mothers took the abortion pill and then changed their mind. According to Christianity Today, the Progressor Stone, I don't know how you say it exactly, how you say the name of this pill, but it's a reversal of mifepristone. I should probably have a physician tell me how to say these things. It's identified as an off-label use of the FDA-approved drug, but advocates say it is completely legal. So far, only one small study has been done testing how well the reversal works, but officials say that so far it seems to be working and it has had very minimal side effects. So there are people who've taken the pill to end their pregnancy and change their mind. 89 unborn children were saved when this new pill was taken to reverse that. So that's
Wow.
really kind of cool. So would those scientists call that life, do you think?
Oh,
They should.
Who knows? It doesn't.
I just
don't
think
even
that's
care.
interesting. So
There really should be more education done, apparently, before just doling out the abortion pill. If people
Handing
are
them out like
taking
lollipops.
it and then saying, I shouldn't have done that,
yeah, I don't know.
maybe there should be more discussion beforehand. None of my business.
We'll
I
climb
guess.
back off the soapbox now and get back to work. It's a Monday. You're listening to the John and Heidi Show.
This is John Stossel. Anything that makes it harder for you to speak limits your life. So if you or someone you know stutters, you can call the Stuttering Foundation for help. 800-992-9392.
You're listening to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
Heading to the dumb criminal file, Heidi.
Okay, I like these.
I know you do. That's why I have so many of them. A man from Sweden is in custody for suspicion of theft. The interesting thing is how they caught this guy. You see, he tried to reclaim a bag that police found on a bus. The bag contained a sawed-off shotgun and a mask. Police still don't understand why the guy thought that they wouldn't have looked inside the bag. So he was planning on robbing a place. He got on the bus. When he got off the bus, he's like, oh, hey, I forgot my stuff. They knew what was inside, and he got himself in a little bit of trouble. So apparently in Sweden, that's a bad thing to do. Thanks for listening on a Monday. We've got some fun stories coming your way here in a bit. Forget your college degrees and professional training. I got a whole new way to find the right job, and it has everything to do with having a good hair day. Oh, yeah, that is on the way.
This portion of the program is brought to you by RVRealtor.com. If you're selling an RV, check out RVRealtor.com. They only get paid if they help you sell your RV. If you're buying an RV, you can find great deals at RVRealtor.com. Now, back to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
When it comes to landing just the right job, you might think you need a college degree. You might think you could use some sort of professional training, right?
Well, yeah.
But according to the fine folks at Burl Cream, they say you just need to have the right hair.
Well, of course they do. They sell hair products.
According to a new survey from Burl Cream, a person's choice of hairstyle may have the greatest influence on their career. Burl Cream, who does have a dog in the hunt, by the way, they found that mullets were still a popular hairstyle for those whose professions didn't require a lot of public interaction, like construction work, truck driving, and even radio DJs.
There is no way mullets are still...
There are people who have mullets, and the jobs that they are best suited for and get more often than not are in those categories. And we happen to have that category. Check it out, baby. I'm starting to grow my own.
You do not have a
I'm going to start growing one right now. See, look at that. There we go. I got like a quarter of an inch going on back there.
I'm going to start a divorce proceeding.
Guys with cropped hair or shaved heads are far more likely to be employed in manual labor jobs than those with long hair. Entrepreneurs had the most individual hairstyles, which often varied and followed no apparent trend. Examples are Bill Gates sporting a traditional short side parted style, while Donald Trump has a whatever you call that thing, a massive flip back mane. Nobody can quite figure out what's going on in that squirrel nest. There's also the director of Burl Cream Style director. They said, it's interesting because we like to think we're all individuals and that our hair and clothing is a result of personal preferences, when in fact it seems that we are all influenced by our workplace and coworkers.
Well, of course, you're influenced by what you're around every day.
I disagree. I remember one of my, there was a banker that I absolutely loved. He had a spiked mohawk, and he was the finest banker I've ever worked with. Of course, I am kidding.
I was going to say,
I just wanted to see the look on your face.
About.
You should have saw. You should have saw the. Oh, come on now. You should have saw the look on your face, though. Can you imagine walking into let's just say an insurance agent, and the insurance agent had, a mullet?
Well, obviously, there are certain careers you have to have a certain look. You have to have a more professional look.
There's probably at least one insurance agent somewhere in the country that has a mullet. He's listening right now going, what's wrong with my mullet? Nothing at all. As a matter of fact, I'm a fan. All right. Thanks for listening on a Monday. It's the John and Heidi Show.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. You can get razors sent to your door each month for just $1 plus a couple of bucks shipping. It's an amazing deal. Log on to dollarshaveclub.com/radio to learn more. That's dollarshaveclub.com/radio. Now, back to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
We may have found, after years of exhaustive studies, we may have found the world's laziest man.
Okay, hey, what did he do?
Did you just point at me? That was not nice, Heidi. It's not me. This guy is so lazy that he painted over a rat instead of picking him up when he was painting in his restaurant. Yeah. Theo Morris is the owner of a cafe in Brisbane, Australia. He was fined $20,000 by the health inspector for painting over a dead rat rather than picking him up.
Disgusting.
Acting on a tip from his own grossed out staff, food safety inspectors discovered the rodent stuck to the floor and covered in red paint in the main dining area of the restaurant. In the dining area?
Did he honestly think nobody would notice? If you just painted over it, nobody would see it? There's a giant lump in the middle of the floor.
The furry little friend was just the beginning. There's also a giant fungus and some other rodents, dead and alive, cockroaches, and untouched food being rescued from garbage cans before being reserved. So he would take food
Oh
out
my
of the trash.
gosh.
Yeah, so he got a $20,000 fine.
That's it for all that?
Yeah, he probably should have been shut down, I'm assuming. That, my friends, is what happens when you are in Brisbane, Australia, apparently.
Oh, that's disgusting.
It's like a boomerang thing. They throw it in the trash, it just flies back out onto your plate. I don't know how to explain it.
How would you like to be a regular customer of that place and know that they were taking food out of the garbage and giving it back to the customers?
I wouldn't, as a matter of fact.
Oh,
I can tell you,
gosh.
when I was a child, not a child, but I was a high school student, I worked at a grocery store, and I'm not going to say where any of this stuff, but I worked at a store, and there was a guy from a restaurant that would dig through like the produce that we were throwing away. Mm-hmm. And I quit eating at his restaurant because of
gross.
that. Because I was like, that stuff we're throwing away. And he's like, yeah, he said I can have this for free. I'm like, okay, I'm never eating there again. So,
gross.
yeah, he's pulling out potatoes. He's like, I can cut all that off. That'll be
Ew.
fine. That's good. That's all right.
Oh.
Yeah, that's not good. Hey, time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. We'll see you again on Tuesday. I'm going to try to end things every day with a little quote. So hopefully this will be inspiring. And since it's Monday, I looked for a quote that had something to do with Monday. This is from Arthur Darvill. I don't know who that is.
I don't either.
But he's the man that said, Monday is great if I can spend it in bed. I'm a man of simple pleasures, really. So Monday is great.
I would agree. Monday would be better if we didn't have to go anywhere.
Well,
but then Tuesday would be your Monday.
That would be, exactly.
You're not really gaining anything.
See? Well, you're gaining one day at least.
And a smaller paycheck. Because if you're not going to work on Monday...
That could be. If you would like to hear our bonus break on our podcast, you have to tune into the podcast. And today we're going to talk about a person who applied to be a police officer and handed in the wrong thing.
Oh.
Didn't get hired, we'll say that. And some violent sports. We're talking about golf. It's all on the way. Thank you for listening. That's all part of the bonus break, available only on the John and Heidi Show podcast.
Time now for the bonus break, only available here on the John and Heidi Show podcast.
I still love that introduction. I feel like we should, give you a little more than we've been giving you, though. So I've got a couple of stories here. I think these are pretty good, Heidi.
Okay.
Number one, Lori Ralston of Amherst, Ohio, sent an application to work for the Amherst Police Department. But it wasn't her resume that got their attention. It was her record. After she applied for a job as a police dispatcher, police did a little background check. They found she had 17 traffic convictions, including 7 speeding tickets and 2 citations for driving without a license. Oh. She was called back for what she was told would be an interview. Instead, she was busted and charged with failing to appear in court.
Oh.
She skipped out on court. And driving without a license. She said, I had no idea I was wanted. She was driving so fast, she didn't even they
couldn't catch her.
That's
so
what it was.
She didn't know.
Yeah. And then sports seems to be getting more and more violent as time goes on. Wrestling, hockey, football. Now the violence has turned to the game of golf. Can you imagine golf being violent?
No, but I'd probably watch it more if it was.
Well, get ready. A golfer's been arrested after starting a fight at a golf course in Florida. Over, what do you think? What would you start a fight for at a golf course?
A penalty stroke.
No, he lost a ball. He was looking for his lost golf ball, and he got in a fight. Robert Jacobs has been charged with battery after being accused of scraping on a fairway with scrapping.
Scrapping.
I'm saying. I thought it was scraping like when he was scraping the ball. Probably scrapping. Scrapping on a fairway with Robert Borowski. Mr. Jacobs claims Borowski deliberately threw his ball into a lake. He went to get a new ball from Borowski's bag, and the two started fighting because of the incident. Mr. Jacobs had to spend some time in jail, but was released on bail. Mr. Jacobs says, it probably sounds kind of funny. If I open up the paper and read about this, I'd probably get a laugh out of it myself, but it did happen to me. So There you go. So at least he had a good sense of humor about it. He's like, I was a little upset. He threw my ball in the water, so I got upset and beat him up with my 9-iron. So I don't exactly know.
Hey, you got to do what you got to do.
A hole in one, all right.
I probably would have freaked out.
I don't know. I would have freaked out. I'd have been like, hey, come on. Seriously, you're going to throw my ball in the water? Could you see me getting in a fight over that, though?
It depends on who. Yeah, well, it
I don't
depends on
think
who
so.
it was.
More than anything, I would probably laugh at it, quite honestly, because I would have probably said that's where I was aiming anyway. So.
That's where it's going to end up no matter what.
I'm not a golfer, and it's not that I don't like golf. I do enjoy when we go golfing. I enjoy because it is a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. I'm just terrible. Not good at all.
But you know what? You don't have to be good to golf and have fun golfing. It's just a fun game.
There you go. Okay, now, we're not on the radio anymore. Earlier today, we were talking about detention, and you...
I honestly cannot say this.
Why not?
Because I can't.
You say it, and if it turns out that it's something you can't say, I'll bleep it. So you tell me.
Are you going to bleep the whole thing?
Yeah, if it's something you can't say. So tell me what it is.
I got sent to the principal's office.
You can't say that.
I know, as I told you. I tried to tell you.
Why? Why did you do that?
We got in a fight and I was angry and it came out.
Can I have you should have told me that before we got married, because if there's a good divorce attorney listening, I might need your help. Wow. You're right. You should have not shared that.
I told you.
I sure hope my bleep button
I told
worked.
you repeatedly I shouldn't say it.
Well, at least now we know how to end the program with something we can't say on the radio. And apparently we can't say on a podcast. Thank you so much for listening on a Monday. I think it's time for me to sneak out now.